Yo, what's happening, people? It's your boy Michael Griggs, and welcome back to Griggs Talks, where we talk all things sports. Welcome back. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe to the video. Today we're back for a Manchester United video. You guys saw this for the NBA. There, I think was it Tuesday I recorded it. I did a tier list, and today I'm gonna do it for Man United. I'm gonna do a keep or sell when it comes to the current squad of players, and then I'm gonna do a loan or buy. No, not loan or buy. Um, avoid or buy when it comes to some of the transfer targets that we've been linked with. Obviously, we're Manchester United. We're linked with about several transfer targets. And yeah, we're just gonna kind of do a tier list about it. Let me pull up the tier list real quick. See it right here. There you go. That's the tier list. You kind of see the squad of players. It's a bunch of players. Some of them are actually missing. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, we're missing a couple. I'm not gonna lie, but it's okay. I'll add them. But my boy JJ in the building. Actually, let me add a couple of them real quick. Actually, you know what? Not forget about it. That's fine. We'll go with that. So let's start off with Onana. We're gonna go with keep. Obviously, Onana is a new transfer. In the season we signed him this summer from Inter Milan, starting keeper. Obviously, there's been huge controversy around surrounding Onana. You know, we have the likes of the Champions League. What happened with the Champions League? Obviously, where you could argue that he cost us the Champions League, threw the ball into his own net a couple times, right? But it is only 1 year in. I'd probably give him another year as a number one and kind of adjust it from there. But it hasn't been the brightest of starts with Onana. Obviously, we signed him to be a ball playing goalkeeper. We've barely had ball playing center backs to accommodate him. He's had to go long a lot of times, so it's not really fitting his kind of stuff. Big up side, my boy Raider. You guys make sure you guys watch that debate show. We went on for about 2 hours. A lot of very strong debate. We had Marcel, who's the head of Ten Hag FC. He will defend Ten Hag to the day he dies, probably. And then obviously we had some anti-Ten Hag talk as well. So it was a very balanced debate. Make sure you guys go check that out. And yeah, always appreciate Hype for the redirect. And yeah, it's pretty much with Onana. I keep him. Maybe actually no, I think 1 to 2 years. I think Nico App mentioned it right here. 1 to 2 years with Onana, and then kind of adjust it because keeper is kind of a position where there's always going to be a keeper available. You could always go pay like 40, 50 mil for a keeper. Obviously, you have Matej Kovar, who's at Leverkusen. You could always recall or buy back in a sense if he's really thriving over there. So yeah, we have a bunch of options when it comes to the goalkeeper. But yeah, I'm gonna avoid Luke Shaw because he's a heavy hitter. Where do you go? Amrabat leaving. Amrabat's obviously leaving at the end of the year. His loan is expiring. I don't think that will trigger the buy option. I don't know what the exact price of the buy option is, but there's really no point of triggering it for me. I think he hasn't really played that much. He hasn't adjusted to the Premier League as much. I think United might be a step too big for him in a sense. I think he's more like a mid-table player if he was playing the Premier League. I think like if he were at West Ham, maybe he'd be better. I think every action that he does is very slow. So really, for me, Amrabat's really quick. Really no point of him, to be honest. Christian Eriksen's in sell. Obviously, we signed Eriksen last year. Ten Hag bought him out on a free transfer. Kind of shrewd business in a sense. Obviously, he was always meant to be, like, for me, a rotation option. That's kind of what Eriksen was meant to be. Obviously, we didn't end up getting Frankie de Jong, which meant Eriksen had to be thrusted into a starting position. And pretty much he did good last year, obviously, until he got the injury against Reading. But this year hasn't really been as good. Been more of a depth player, a rotational player, which has been useful. Been injured a couple of times. But for me, there's really no point of keeping Eriksen here. I think within the academy, we have a bunch of young midfielders that are up and coming. Obviously, Mainoo's obviously the key example, but you even have someone like Dan Gore, who I think could be more useful. Jace Fitzgerald, who's coming up. I just think you could also go buy another player for like 20 mil. Can we still get money for Eriksen? Well, maybe Saudi hit us up with like a 10 mil or something like that. I think it's one of those players that you can sell for 10 to 15 mil after buying him on a free. You call it a day. You call that good business at his age. I just don't think that there really is a big need for Eriksen, in my opinion. Antony. I wanted to create my own tier for Antony. That's just like, I don't even know what the tier would be called, but just like his own territory because I know how bad he is. But absolutely sell whatever price you can get for Anthony. You take the hit, you take the transfer loss, and you call it a day. Not much else you could do. He's still young enough, so maybe you could get a decent price on him. But we've devalued him to a point where, like, actually, he's devalued himself. If we're gonna be honest, but he's devalued himself to a point where, like, if you could get 30 mil for him, which should have been his original price, you take that, right? Just makes no sense to keep him. Yeah, rip his, JJ, rip his contract. That might be a different. That might have been a good year for Anthony, right? But for me, I just see no point of Anthony at this football club. And yeah, just sell. He never should have been bought in the first place. It was overpay from the club. Obviously, Ten Hag wanted him. I remember the scouts said that 25 mil was the original decision, was the original price for Anthony in terms of what they scouted him for. And United ended up paying over triple of that, which shows how bad the business was, and which is why we're so happy with Ineos and who they're appointing, because the guys that they're appointing is hopefully not going to make those same mistakes of buying the likes of Anthony for 80 mil instead of buying him for like 25 mil, which he should have happened. Swap plus money. We can maybe use him in a swap deal. I don't know what club that would really want to swap him, but shout out my boy Nick from Soria and Anthony to Deportivo Tequila FC for 12 Venezuelan Boulevard. Yeah. I'll convert Anthony to left fullback. He can defend better than Chris. Yeah, he's a defensive winger, but nah, bro. Nothing to have him on the pitch. I'm not gonna lie. Højlund is obviously a must stay. Obviously the starting striker for the future. Back to 5-5, I think now. 11 goals in all comps. Really, this is finally United have a number 9 where they can build off of. He's shown this year that, especially so far in 2024, since the turn of the calendar year, that he's a striker worth building upon. The back to goal play has improved. The ball striking has been decent. His relationship with Marcus Rashford has been decent. I think he's the perfect striker for the future. I think he's a perfect profile, and he's only going to get better. He's only going to improve in attributes that he maybe lacks now, like link play and all that kind of stuff. I think United should get a backup striker that can maybe be more of like a veteran that can help Højlund maybe improve in some attributes. Something like, I think Mehdi Taremi, someone that United maybe missed the job on, like Inter signing him on a free. I think someone that could have been helpful as a backup striker, because there's no point of going for an Ivan Toney. Like I mentioned, bringing in Ivan Toney. There's no point of bringing in Ivan Toney when you have someone like Højlund. You don't bring in someone that can really hinder Højlund's development. I think you either sound like a veteran striker that can be a backup, or a younger striker to compete, like someone like a Joshua Zirkzee, for example, that's a completely different profile to Højlund, and that can complement each other, right? I think United could go that route or go the veteran route, but Højlund's obviously a must stay. Tom Heaton, bro, I don't even know what Tom Heaton's doing here. I'm not gonna lie. Leaving. I don't know if his contract's up. I don't know the exact thing with maybe keep him as like a third goalkeeper, I guess. That's fine, bro. The Tom Heaton in preseason moved me though. I'm not gonna lie. This thing's terrible. All right, Binder, I'd keep backup goalkeeper. I kind of want to see more of him. I think Ten Hag should play him more. I think he should definitely play the next FA Cup game. I just want to see what he's made of. The Newport game was decent. Obviously, he looked a little bit nervous, but that was his first ever appearance for Man United, so obviously nerves were to be expected. But I think he should definitely keep. I don't really see the point of signing a backup goalkeeper right now, and just see what he's got, right? So yeah, I think Binder to keep is fine. Next to Anthony, obviously, sell with a capital S. There is no point of Victor Lindelof being at this football club beyond this year. If he's here next year, that means we failed as a football club. We failed in the summer, and questions have to be asked, because there's no point of the dude being here. I think Maguire's better than him. Obviously, Varane and Leach are better than him. I could even make an argument that Johnny Evans is better than him. I think Lindelof also has a market in terms of Europe. Obviously, he's Sweden's captain. Maybe that holds some weight. I don't remember Atleti were linked with him last winter. Maybe they still want him. Just try to sell him to Serie A, try to sell him to Bundesliga, La Liga, try to sell him to those leagues. I think you can maybe get 20-25 mil off Lindelof, and we get 25 mil off Lindelof. We call that a good deal. We move on with our lives, right? Really, nothing much else to do with him. Varane, I'd say I'd keep one more. I'd try to keep Varane for 1 to 2 more years. Yeah, I think you keep him for 1 to 2 more years, kind of get in that new center back to help Varane mold them, nurture them, help development, and just go with that. I think losing him this summer would be a big hit, because I think two center backs are definitely leaving, right? And then, yeah, I just think something like I think Varane should be useful. I think the fact that he can play with not go a month without playing football, right? Like he did earlier this year, and then step back in a big game against Bayern Munich and look absolutely class. That's a very underrated thing about Varane's game. There's no rust in his game, right? He can go a month without playing and just be very, very calm. So I think definitely it's calm for Varane to stay. Obviously, his contract's up at the end of the summer. United haven't really started discussions in terms of extending, and I don't think he's actually gonna extend. But if we can somehow keep him for about 1 to 2 more years, I think you could definitely do that. I think someone like Tom Heaton should be like in 1 to 2 years, right? I think something like that. Diogo Dalot, I think you keep. I think Diogo Dalot should definitely be a keep. I'm not gonna put him in must stay because I'm not gonna put many players in must stay. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna try to keep it to like 1 to 3. I definitely think Dalot is proven this year that he is a top right back, that he could be a top right back in the Premier League. I think this year, Bart Trent, I don't think there's really been a better right back than Diogo Dalot, especially since the turn of the calendar year. He's been absolutely near perfection, to be honest. And just some of the football, the level of football he's playing, the crossing look a little bit improved. First phase and second phase, he's always been decent at. Defensively, he's been very, very solid, considering how much space we leave open. Sometimes the winger's not tracking back. Aerially, he's always been dominant. He's very tall. He's a very tall fullback, so he knows how to keep track of his back post. That's always good to see from him. So yeah, I definitely think Diogo Dalot should definitely be a keep. He's actually, if we're gonna be like real, I think he should be like number 1 on this, and like he's very, very close to must stay because the market for right backs is actually so bad that like it's kind of a blessing that we have Dalot and that he's developing at this rate because he's only 24, right? So the development part is not even over because if you look at his biggest weakness is crossing, right? That's definitely a part of the game that you can improve. You could always improve your crossing. Go to the training ground, go to the pitch, start doing a bunch of crossing drills and just work on it from there, right? Because it's really ball striking and just the accuracy and where to cross instead of focusing. I don't remember who said. I think it was Staffy that said it. Big up, Staffy. He always talked about like Dalot was crossing into like trying to cross a specific player instead of crossing into like a zone or just an area. Dalot needs to do that more instead of focusing on targeting a specific player. So I think he could always improve on that. Big up everything football. If you were to get rid of Onana, who would you realistically bring in to replace him? I'd probably bring in. I mean, you go for the big money signing in Diogo Costa. I would just go Mike Maignan and just like spend the bread on him. There's really not much. Maybe you could always try like the Kovar route, but I still want like a top class keeper. Not many in the world, but I'm not gonna lie. That's what kind of makes me with Onana is like I just want to see in next year, right? If we play a little bit more ball dominant football, if Onana looks better, then it's calm. But if he still looks very sketchy, in addition to how bad he is shot stopping wise, then it's finito for him, right? Yeah, I just want to keep it where when the ball gets shot by the opponent, I don't think it's gonna go in. I'm confident in my keeper saving it. Obviously, some teams score golazos against you, and you just gotta hold up and say fair play, right? But with Onana, bro, he makes the simplest shots so difficult to save. So, yeah. Who else we got? I think Maguire is like leaving Cell. I do think Maguire is like I think this is Maguire's last year at the football club. I'm not gonna lie. I think the move has always been set for him to move on past this year. I think a strong Euros. I think having a strong Euros was always the plan, and then just sell him, trying to maximize his value. I think this year he's done a good job rising his stock again. I think he's been pretty solid this year. Obviously, winning like a Player of the Month, who's always been good for in terms of the solid. I think if West Ham want him again, it's pretty much what's it called? Like they're gonna have to pay up a little bit more extra money. So I think Maguire's had a good season. I think he's leaving regardless of what happens. I think this was always meant to be the last year at Man United because it was so close last summer. And he's like not like one of those players that you can just like you almost sell and he does like a remontada and he stays for a long time. I think it was always the plan of like this year or next year, last case scenario, right? I think Wan-Bissaka, you definitely sell. I think the writing's on the wall for Aaron Wan-Bissaka as well. There is no point for Aaron Wan-Bissaka to be at this football club past this summer. I think he's a decent profile for like a mid-table, lower league club, in my opinion. But it's just that Man United, I think the way that Dalot the way that Dalot has increased his performances, he's kind of left Wan-Bissaka in the dust. Wan-Bissaka did a good job last year of making it more of a competition between the two, but Diogo Dalot has shown the levels this year, and I just think with Wan-Bissaka, there's no point of him being here beyond this year, right? This makes no sense. And yeah, I wish him the best in terms of. I think maybe he goes back to Crystal Palace. I think his profile will fit somewhere like that. Everton under Sean Dyche, but I think Man United definitely need a new top right back that can not top right back, like a younger right back, maybe someone that can compete with Dalot and keep him on his toes, right? Yeah, it's not West Ham. He's better than Kufal, for example, right? So something like that. Scott McTominay, sell. I think similar to Maguire, right? He's kind of like I've always thought this was McTominay's last year. He's done a good job kind of keeping his Obama's not gonna lease a deal. If we could work something like that out, that's perfect for United. 60K per week for a versatile midfielder as a backup impact player. Scott is a must in the squad. He's also Scottish international. Yeah, all that is hype, bro. Yeah, he's got to bounce. No disrespect to Scott McTominay, the best 6-man the league has seen in a while, but his stocks are stupid high. Euros, where he always bags for Scotland. So if he bags like three goals for Scotland in the Euros, right? Had a really solid season for Man United in terms of output. 40, 50 mil, bro. You see what Chelsea are charging for Conor Gallagher. We should be charging the same for Scott McTominay, in my opinion. And some club will pay for that, right? So we pray. Johnny Evans is obviously leaving on a free. I think his contract was only 1 year, so I mean you could keep Johnny Evans maybe as like a fifth choice center back, but in my opinion, I think someone like Kwambala would be a better fit for that. So yeah. Managers love Scott. That guy's retired. Oh, we pray that's not true, man. Reguilon's not here no more, so we're not going to put him. Facundo Pellestri. I would sell Pellestri. I think we've sent him on loan about 500 times now. Yeah, he cooked in his first game on Granada. Somehow, some way, let's see if we can get 10 to 15 mil for Pellestri. Some 20 mil. I think that should be a job for like the CEO and the DOF this summer. Try to maximize the value. Obviously, Copa America for him as well, which is good. International tournament. He starts for Uruguay, so if he has a strong tournament performance as well over there, keeps the value up, right? So, I think that's definitely someone that we should be looking to sell and try to get some profit on. Definitely. Yeah. Sell Pellestri. Do something to less than yeah, bro. He doesn't even have a professional goal for Man United yet. I think he has like 1 assist or something like that. So yeah. Donald Van de Beek. He's you know what? No, he's going up here. Yeah, these three right here, bro. These three are the first three to be sold in the summer. I think Donny Van de Beek, bro. The fact that he's so bad for Frankfurt that we can't get the 15 mil, the option to get triggered is finito. I don't see the point with Donny Van de Beek, bro. I don't see what he's good at. I've always said he's one of the worst signings that Man United have made because there was no point of him to be signed. He's not really a playmaker like Bruno. He's not the all-around player like that Pogba was. He was meant to be like a Pogba replacement. Actually, no, he was actually the alternative to Jack Grealish because Villa stayed up after 1920, and Villa obviously started charging astronomical price for Jack Grealish. So United had to pivot, and then Donny Van de Beek because of our relationship with Ajax and Van der Sar. And bro, yeah, Donny Van de Beek is one of the latest people from Ajax that we just bought, and they're not good. Leach is the only one that's worth anything, right? So yeah, just Donny Van de Beek, sell. Yeah, people are in love with the idea of Donny Van de Beek, like this technical guy that knows how to attack space, to Ram the Tur, right? Like Thomas Muller kind of player. Guess what? Thomas Muller's like the only one that makes that actually look cool. So Mason Mount, I give Mason Mount 1 to 2 more years. I think Mina talked about on the debate show under Omar Barada, we will probably have this process of 1 to 2 years or you're cut. I think Mason Mount is probably the main example of that. We signed him big money, high wages, number 7. If the first year is already pretty much a dud, unless you come back and like contributes like a trophy or something, right? Next year probably, or maybe another year after that, finito. He's an English. He'll always probably have a market. Might be like a kind of market where we have to take like a 10 mil loss on him and sell him to like Everton or something like that, right? West Ham, but he has to prove it. He has to cut it out, right? I think he probably won't be here in 2 years. I hope he works it out because I think Mason Mount is a manager's dream. Like I think Hella talked about McTominay being a manager's dream. I think Mason Mount is the perfect manager's dream. Will work hard, will work his socks off, loves pressing, decent on the ball, good turn and stuff like that. I think versatile. I definitely think that he can do something. I think a manager. I think the next manager would be like, I could work with Mason Mount. Maybe I could cook something up. With Antony, I would loan him out to boost his transfer value and then sell him so we don't lose as much money like what we were doing with Sancho. That's a good point. The fact is, I'm scared to loan him out because what if the loan doesn't work out and he's back and he stinks and then we're stuck with him again? If we could just get any money for him, we just take it. I do think Mount has been screwed over by injuries. We'll love to see Mount end up in the Bundesliga. I definitely think Mount could cook for like a Bayern. I mean, I think Tuchel wanted him at Bayern Munich, but I definitely think he could work out for like a Dortmund, Leipzig, stuff like that. I think he would definitely work out with Leipzig when you look at like the formation they play, like the Y10s, stuff like that. I think Mason Mount would thrive in that, in my opinion, right? Like Dani Olmo, stuff like that. Next up, obviously, the main man, franchise player. Talk to him nice. Kobbie Mainoo. You're number one on the list. Must stay. You build the midfield around him. No, not much to talk about, right? He's Kobbie Mainoo. He's him. An elite player in the making, future star of Man United. You build around him. You make sure that you prioritize his development, and you make sure that you help him become the best player that he could possibly be, because that ceiling is very, very high, and he's definitely just someone that you build around and you help him become him, because we cannot fail him the way that we did Paul Pogba, right? It'd be a crime if we do that to him, because when you look at a player of that caliber, that profile, it's very rare. It's one of his player profile is perfect for midfielders in 2024 because he's an all-around monster. He could play the first phase, he could play in the second phase, and he's proven that he could play in the third phase when you look at what he did against Wolves, right? It's something like, excuse me right now, I just got to tweet something real quick. So I mean, he's just an incredible player, and I have enough adjectives about him. But yeah, I feel more there should be a loan option. I feel there should be a loan option on this list. Can I just say just how good of a YouTuber you are? The way you're communicating to the viewers is amazing. I appreciate it. No, the loan, I didn't put a loan option because I don't really think there's anyone I really want to loan out that's on this list. If there's not many academy players, so that's why I'm kind of like just sell, right? Like kind of as like a sell, because you're gonna see there's a couple of players here, right? That really could be in the loan tier if you really want to be that like specific, but I'd honestly just sell. Kobe's the guy, the maturity, calmness, especially in our center of our box, is what I expected from Casemiro. Yeah, Kobbie Mainoo is the most mature midfielder we have. He might be the most mature player we have outside of like a Licha. Actually, no, Licha's not really mature. Licha is a hothead sometimes. Maybe like a Luke Shaw, kind of like that elegance to the game. So yeah. Casemiro, I'm stuck between sell and 1 to 2 years. I'm not gonna lie with Casemiro. I think keeping Casemiro can maybe help us spend more money on another position that we could like really need to fortify. Also, keeping Casemiro makes it like, if you sell Casemiro, you basically have to sign 2 DMs this summer. If you keep Casemiro, you sign 1 DM this summer, you sell him next summer, and then you go sign another DM. I think that's probably the better logical choice. Also, like I said, Varane's contract is probably expiring, right? And he might not renew it. You cannot lose both Casemiro and Varane the same summer. I think that would be really detrimental to the locker room, to the winning mentality, which we all talk about. I always think that phase them out slowly but surely is the better plan of action. So I keep him 1 to 2 years. Probably more him and Varane more like on the 1 year than like the 2 year scale, right? So I'd go with that. Big hitter. Leach is obviously a must stay. The best center back at the club, arguably the most important player at the club when it comes to Ten Hag. So if Ten Hag stays, Leach is a must stay because Leach is the system. I talked about that after my match reaction against Wolves. He's so important. He is the system. He is the one that makes the team tick. And center back, the way he progresses the ball, you look without him, we already look lost in the first phase. We don't know what to do. He is that important. He is the guy, as JJ says. He is so important. So you definitely keep Licha. You just go sign a backup left center back where that can compete because Licha is very injury prone. And I think the injuries are going to start piling up with Leach soon because he plays such an aggressive style of game, and the fact that he's messed up that ankle and the knee so many times already in the past year, it's going to get spooky when it comes to that. Tony Martial is leaving. His contract's up at the end of the year. We're not extending it, so it's as simple as that. Thank you for your service. A player that you could argue that we ruined in the sense that we maybe didn't prioritize his development as much as we should have. Injuries happened to him, overplayed, stuff like that. So it's a shame, but at the end of the day, it is what it is, right? But definitely no contract for him and all that kind of stuff. I think Garnacho you just keep, right? I'm not going to say must stay because I think the three above him are more important. I also think we're going to sign a starting right winger this summer. So I'd keep him. He's definitely at the front to keep. Like, you just want to see what his potential can end up being. Obviously, I'm more on the minority side when it comes to Garnacho. I know a lot of people get upset with me on social media and stuff like that. There's people that think that Garnacho could be a top 10 winger in world football. I personally don't see it. I don't see his potential reaching those levels. I hope he does. I hope I'm proven wrong because that means we have a worldly of a player. But I think there's too many things that he lacks in attributes that it just won't work, right? So I definitely think Garnacho just continue seeing his development. And if you can end up selling Garnacho for like 60, 70 million, for me, unless he turns out to be like a world-class player, then that goes different. But if you can end up getting 60, 70 mil for Garnacho, you should be happy with that, in my opinion. And yeah, like Zav says, big of Zav, I think you're a new subscriber. He should be a super sub. It's as simple as that. I think that in the United team that competes for all the trophies, I think Garnacho is what's it called? Like a number one player off the bench. Like you see what time he's direct like impacting the game now. I think that's what Garnacho should be as well, in my opinion. Garnacho doesn't have any specific trait or strength. That's his downfall. Yeah, but he's not like a midfielder though, where he's like a jack of all trades, right? It's like I just don't think like I've always said this. The biggest thing about Garnacho is his biggest strength is his confidence and his ego. He carries himself like he's the best player on the pitch, and that's a great thing to have because you got to believe in yourself, right? But that can only take you so far in sports, and especially in football. And eventually, the talents has to shine through on top of the confidence, and you might get to that point. But for right now, the way I see it, I don't think it'll be that. So I think keep super sub squad player, and you know what? That's what the academy is for. He can have like an Ole type career, right? Where he's always like the first player off the bench, occasional starter in squad games and stuff like that. That's perfect, bro. Not every youth player is gonna be a hit. Not every youth player is gonna be a Kobe Mainu type talent. That's what the academy is for. If he had lightning pace or elite dribbling, he'd be insane. But yeah, he doesn't have elite strength. He doesn't have elite ball striking. He doesn't have good ball striking. So great mid. Malacia. Honestly, yo, sub. I don't know why. I don't know why this guy's here. I don't see it with Malacia. I don't see it. I think. Let's see. I think as the years go on, his physical will get better and he can become more lethal. Hell, that's definitely an option. I agree with that. Garnacho's only 19. He has potential to be world class. I think we use the world class too heavy these days. I'm not gonna lie. That's something we do a lot. I don't think he has world class potential. Also, Garnacho never gives up. Remember that chance he made from McTominay at last minute against Spurs, despite dropping him. Yep. He never gives up. I've always said that's his biggest attribute, and that's a great attribute to have, especially at Man United, because at Man United, you could have the most talent in the world, right? You could be the most talented player. Like Sancho, you could argue is more talented than Garnacho. But why does Garnacho thrive at Man United, and why doesn't Sancho? Because the confidence, the confidence and the mentality to succeed here. Garnacho believes he deserves to be the Man United player. The guy believes he should be the number 7 at Man United, right? He has that kind of confidence in himself, and he backs it up. He doesn't stop working. And in Man United, that's half of the game of Man United is to be the talent, but the other half is to make it here. You have to believe in yourself and have the confidence to think that you can make it here. So he's only 19, plenty of time to develop him to elite winger. Hey man, we'll agree to disagree though. I do hope that you guys are right, the ones that are disagreeing with me. Big up my boy Mason. Malassi, I don't really care. I saw maybe yeah. We'll get to Malassi real quick, JJ. Garnacho is good but well overhyped. Desiree Due replacement for Garnacho. That's a hooper. Yeah, I watched him yesterday in Renee Milan. He looked really good. He's one of the few bright spots for Renee, and also the Renee Academy is a hit these days, right? So you bought a stock in it. Sancho is so talented. Hopefully, when ETH gets hacked, yeah, Richardinho, we'll agree to disagree on that, right? We'll get to Sancho anyway. I think he's been one of our best players this season. You can make the argument. You can make the argument that Garnacho's been our best forward this season. I definitely hear that. So yeah, Malassi right here. Yeah, so Malassi. First of all, the dude. I haven't seen the dude in 20 since April of 2023. I don't know where he's been at. He had a botched surgery because he didn't. He trusted like other countries' doctors, and I just don't see the point of Malassi being here. I think left back. You can just call back Alvaro, have him be the backup, and go from there. So yeah. Yeah, it's good. Oh, yeah, super good, bro. Super finito, papa. As Omar says, right? Yeah, it's off the grid, bro. He's hiding, bro. He's acting like he's got 5 stars on GTA, and the dude's just in hiding, bro. He's like hiding in a bunker or something. Hannibal. So I wanted Hannibal to succeed here. I don't see it happening. Sevilla have already said that they're not paying the 17 mil for him. This is where kind of like the loan option maybe would have been good. Have send him out on another loan and then do it. But you know what? Let me just put this like as a loan / all right. There you go. Yeah, I just don't see the point of him. I don't see it with him. In terms of, I think the attitude, not the attitude, but like the way he composes himself is good, but he has a lot of energy. But it seems that in football, maybe that doesn't work out. So I think with Hannibal, if we could just sell him for like 15, 20 mil, call it a day. Successful Carrington product, that's all that. Right. Yeah, I've come to the realization that he may just be not all that. I think also his profile, like the way Ten Hag used it was wrong, and then it's just. I think the loan. I think where was he at loan last year? Birmingham. That was the first mistake with us. Like the way we set up Ahmed, we set up Ahmad perfectly on his loan at Sunderland. We messed it up completely with Hannibal. We're kind of up to the big hitters now. Ahmad I'd keep. I think he definitely has the potential to succeed at this football club. I think he just needs his chance. I don't know when that chance will come to him, but I definitely deserve. I do think like as opposed to like the likes of like a not Menu, as opposed to like some of Facundo Palacio or Hannibal. I think Ahmad's better than those guys. I think he showed it at Sunderland to be the best player on a championship team that always made the Premier League. It's no small feat, and he was so good. And he just deserves his chance, right? We just gotta see it. So I really want to see him play more, and I really hope that Ten Hag gives him the platform to succeed the rest of the season. There's a player in the Ahmad as a 10, bro. I think that's his long term future at Man United. Like as an advanced 8/10. I think that's I like that right zone, right? You see that right zone where Ahmad, I think that's where he needs to work at. Mm-hmm. Guys, see why I'm struggling with this. I really rate the guy, but when is too many injuries, 1 to 2 years. We'll go with that. I think the left back market is so dead that you just gotta hope that a top prospect shines through within the next 2 years, and then you can replace Shaw with them. You can hope that Alvaro shines at Benfica, and you can bring him in. Henry Amas, you can hope that he's the one. You just gotta just try to hope with Shaw, like keep him, but use him a little bit more sporadically. I think Dallo maybe at left back a couple games. A player that we're going to talk about soon, maybe him and Licha can maybe play left back a couple times there. I think 1 to 2 years. I think if an offer comes in for Shaw right now, that's really good. Like a 40 to 50 mil offer for Shaw comes in right now for whatever reason, you take that money and you run, and then you figure it out later. Otherwise, if there's not really a market for him, you keep him for now. You hope the stock stays the same or improves slightly, and then you can sell him. But yeah, it's just a shame because I think Luke Shaw is very, very talented, bro. I don't think there's many left backs more talented than Luke Shaw. But the injuries, it's just finito for him from that point. Um, I gotta back my boy. I'm not gonna lie. I was debating between that. My opinion with Rashford is if a deal for Marcus Rashford comes in where like a team offers north of 80 million, I think you take it. You take the money and you run. But I don't think with Rashford, there's many players out there that we can really replace him and the team gets better. You look at the likes of like Leao. Is Leao really worth spending 180 mil on and that he's much better than Rashford? I don't think so. Matoma, don't joke with that one. So that's where I'm at with Rashford. So we'll see. I think I really want to. I get why why people would want Rashford to leave. And I think even if he might want to leave for himself, right? Because he needs to start competing for serious trophies at his age. And United are gonna go through another rebuild. That's gonna happen. That's for sure. So maybe he doesn't want to see it to go through another one, or maybe Ineos are like they want to kind of just get rid of the core of the best out of the past 5-6 years at Man United and not keep the same top players that have been here because that loser stench can maybe wear upon on the team, right? So maybe for like Harry Kane, obviously, like when he left Spurs, people thought it was all doom and gloom, like it was finito for them, but they're thriving without him. Maybe we thrive without Marcus Rashford. That there could be a world where that happens, right? So he's kind of someone where like you can put him in like any of the four of these four right here, right? I wouldn't be opposed to it. I just love the guy. I've seen his whole career. I've seen him grow up from the 16-year-old, from the 18-year-old player that he was in 2015 to obviously the way he is now. So it's a mixture of both. I understand why anyone would choose either of the four, right? So I'm gonna keep him. It might be a little bit biased, but that's my boy, right? Rashford's United. Yeah, the way Ratcliffe talks about having an English core, his most prized English asset is Marcus Rashford. He's one of the biggest faces in English football. In football in general, he has his own shoe at Nike and stuff like that. It's just he's him. So yeah. Jadon Sancho. So you might call me a hater. I don't care. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Jadon Sancho. First of all, I don't see you. I don't see a point in him at Man United. It's best for both parties to move on. Even if Ten Hag's gone, right? Let's say Ten Hag's gone, a new manager comes in. Bro, unless that manager really has Jadon Sancho in his plans as like a key player, give it up. I think it just didn't work out at Man United, and it's that simple. We've seen better talents get wasted here than Jadon Sancho, so it's not something that we should lose sleep at night. So yeah. And the last player, Bruno Fernandes. Where'd I put him? Oh, he's on sell. I'd sell Bruno. I think one of Bruno or Rashford should get sold this summer, and I think Bruno is the one that should get sold. I think Rashford can work under different managers. With Bruno, I think the age that he's at right now, I think he's about 30. The decline is gonna happen soon, bro. Physically, he's already not a strong physical player. The athleticism is dwindling and dwindling and dwindling. There's no point for him here. I'm not gonna lie. I know he's a club captain, but just sell him, bro. If you get 80 to 100 mil from Saudi, take the money, bro. There are so many talented advanced midfielders in world football. You look at the likes of Xavi Simons, you look at the likes of Florian Wirtz, Emeriche Eze, and it's as simple as that, in my opinion. Let's go come through the comments. Sancho will be another Di Maria. I'm not gonna lie, has some respect for Di Maria. I'm not gonna lie. Don't know who Bruno's replacement is. I know he's in Liga, probably. I was 2 minutes behind, didn't realize, but Rashford, Leao isn't even better than Rashford. I agree. I know we all have our opinions, but I never saw Bruno. I hear that. Bruno is reliable. Agreed, man. So many better 10s on the market. Can't really say the same for Diaz or Joaquin Miro. You can't be a good team with Bruno in it. Bruno isn't getting any younger. Only way I tell Bruno is if we get Verts. Eze, Siemens, Morgan Gibbs White, Verts all upgrades. Bruno for over 60 mil, otherwise run down contract. Bilal and Kanous in the 10 cheap. Yeah, with Bruno, it's like I also think with Bruno, it's maybe good that he leaves now before like his legacy at United kind of gets ripped more apart. Because for me, I'll always say Bruno has been a successful signing because the impact that he had upon arrival is not to be understated. Not many players can do what he did, right? Obviously, it helped him the likes of Rashford and Pogba came back from injury, and COVID helped with that. But he has been a success at Man United for the money that for the price we paid, he's repaid that price. Let's keep it like that. He was a good value. But it comes to the point now where you might not be needed here no more, and United might just have to go a different way. Because for me, honestly, I'll be real, guys. I don't even want a 10. I want more of like I want the advanced 8. I think someone like Verge can do that stuff like that, right? It's just Xavi Simons, I think, would be the perfect. I think with Bruno, bro, it's his game is just way too like he has too many habits that can't be fixed at his age. So that's where I go with Bruno. If you want to keep him, I get it because you've grown an attachment to Bruno, and I understand why people have grown attachments to Bruno, right? It's deserved, but it is what it is. John Evans is definitely not advanced. He's a pivot. He's a pivot 6, and Colby's second phase 8, in my opinion, box to box. Yeah, I hear it, bro. The way that people feel about Bruno is the way I feel about Rashford, right? So, this is what it is. Bruno is United's most successful transfer. You could make that argument. I don't think he's the best player we've signed since Postgres. I think Pogba is, but not enough height and center mid. Yeah, that's why I want a tall 6. I want Amadou Onana. That height just makes up for it, right? But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the current players. Reguilon's here, but he's already gone, so that doesn't count. Now we're down to the Abaya void, right? And there's a couple of players I don't have on here. Let me know some targets in the comments, and I'll say buy or void. I just won't have their picture, right? First name on the board is Jared Branthwaite. Absolute buy for me. First signing of the summer for me. Bring him in at center back. Done deal. Pre-agreement should be done already if we was legit. So I'll start the players like JJ. I'll start your Onana comments, stuff like that, and I'll talk about it. So yeah, Branthwaite for me. We bring him in. Left center back for the future, next decade. Could also play left back. Could also play right center back. So definitely. Frankie De Jong, avoid. We had the debate on Saeed's channel last week, right? Very heated debate. I'm sure you guys remember it. We're not going to talk about what happened, but yeah, you guys all remember it. Yeah, that is Reguilon. So it's a tier list from like the beginning of the season. So they had Reguilon on it. We're not going to discuss that guy, right? But De Jong, I would avoid De Jong personally. I don't see the need for De Jong at this current moment in time. I think Kobbie Mainoo has proven that he can kind of replicate what De Jong does. Maybe not at the level De Jong does because De Jong is one of the best in the world at what he does, right? But I just think that we just don't need Frankie De Jong at this current time. We needed him last year. The time passed. He's not worth the money or the wages. I'm not trying to pocket watch, but go get your bag. He deserves the money, but not on my football club. So, yeah. How is Branthwaite on the ball? Really good for a player his height as well. Obviously, he's not like Leach level, right? But he's really good on the ball. Todibo, I would buy. Obviously, I'm gonna talk about these two together, Lenny Yoro and Todibo. I think one of the two come to Man United this summer. I personally would prefer Lenny Yoro because he's more of a physical, but I think Lenny Yoro is also destined to greater things than Man United. I think that is a Madrid-bound kid, right? But Todibo, for example, the Nice connection with Ratcliffe and all that kind of stuff, I've heard we're maybe hiring someone that can kind of help the connection be stronger too. I think Todibo is a good 40. I think someone like Richard didn't talk about like a Vent type signing. I think Todibo is perfect right now to learn under Zav. I started your announcement with comments. I'll talk about when I finish the last 2 players. Yeah, with Todibo, I think he could really help right now, and also the right center back market is so strong that you can have Todibo. Like once Varane leaves, right, and Todibo can take that third center back spot, and you can go get an even better right center back. So I definitely think Todibo should be a buy. Michael Olise, I would buy. I don't have the other wingers. I forgot to put their pictures up. I'm not gonna lie, but if the price is right for Olise, you buy him. He's a good talent. The injury concerns might be a little bit, but I just think he's a top player. I think he's a good I think he's a good talent. The only thing is, like, Olise is not my top winger target because I much prefer more explosive wingers. It's always been something with me. Like, I've always liked the direct wingers, like the Netos, the Nico Williams of the world. Something I grew up, right? When you grow up a United fan, watching CR7, watching Luis Nani, right? You want those guys. So, yeah, I would buy him. Jeremy Frimpong, I would avoid. Good player, but he's a wing back, not a fullback. There's no point in bringing a 5'2" right back. That's just too weak early, especially when you have someone like Flecha who's already 5'9". That's just too small of a back four. And I think you need to have great physical athletes in the back four. I think City have shown that. I think Arsenal have shown that. So I'd avoid on Frimpong. And then last but not least, the rumor today, Matthijs Tel. I'd buy. I think just the fact that he's from Rene's academy and they have such good hits. The French like the French guys are so dynamic, and he's a very dynamic player. Pair him up with like Højlund. It's a good Rashford backup, in my opinion. Have them learn off Rashford a little bit. I think they're very similar profiles. I think that would be a good sign for Man United. It all depends on the price for me. If we're talking north of 50 mil, finito papa, as Omar says, bro. We just move on. But yeah. All right, let's go through some of the guys. Amadou Onana, I'd buy. I definitely think that's someone that you could bring in. Him and Mainu would be a good pivot. Obviously, Onana's not the best on the ball, not the most aesthetically pleasing, but I think he definitely could improve on that. Box crashing, all that kind of stuff. I think Onana is the perfect kind of player. Gonçalo Inacio, I'd buy, but he's not my first choice over Branthwaite. If we buy Inacio over Branthwaite, I'm gonna be like, I'm looking at you sideways, right? So he's a good player, but he wouldn't be my number one choice. But if we got the offer chance to buy him, I definitely would buy him. I think he's a good player. Yusuf Fofana, I would buy. I think he's another profile that could really help Mainu. That physical 6/8, that's really tall. Has decent ball playing ability. Can also crash the box, like stuff like that. I think Fofana would be a good fit. Scalvini from Atalanta. He's a DM. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know. I'm very iffy with Italians from Serie A coming to the Prem. I don't know. I probably didn't win on Scalvini. I'm not gonna lie. Ideal is Branthwaite in Euro, but probably will be Todibo. Yeah, I think Branthwaite's a done thing, but I think Todibo is down to Todibo Euro or Matthijs de Ligt, as some sources have said. Which I think I had his file download. I forgot to add him, but de Ligt is definitely an avoid. But yeah, any other names? Sotomir says, "Have you seen Gyökeres?" I have seen him. He costs too much to bring him in as like a striker, in my opinion. I think you need if you want Gyökeres, you need to be a team that's looking for your 9. I don't think we need to pay that much for him. Stop the cap, CK. Stop the cap, bro. We know you're lying, bro. We know you're lying. I joined late, but Onana 1 to 2 years. Do you think that'll be the case, or just hoping? Based on what Omar Barada says about the 1 to 2 year plan, like if you're not showing like your ability within 1 to 2 years, you're gone. I think Onana. I think he stays for longer than 2 years, but we'll see. He was very much a manager signing too. So if like Ten Hag is gone, that might make it more open to Onana leaving. Xerxes might have a good dynamic with Højlund without taking him out of the team. I agree, Zapper. I think Xerxes is definitely a striker I'm looking at. I'd buy Xerxes. So I don't know, something about Xerxes just like moves me like, but like it's just like he's a very talented player, and just the difference of profile between him and Højlund makes it a perfect mesh. So definitely someone. Nusa. avoid because I heard he has serious knee problems at 18. That's a big red flag. So I steer clear. I hope he has a successful career though. Rafa Benz, Maxence Lacroix, no. I feel like he's just FIFA hype. We should be looking at Girona's fullbacks. I've heard good things. I think Nuno Couto is one of them. He got hurt last week against Madrid though. It's not. We all saw that, right? We all saw that. But I don't know, yo, you gotta watch the tape, bro. Obviously, but there's a risk to a 6'4" striker from Serie A. Can he handle like the pace of the Premier League, stuff like that? Yeah, he could flop in the Premier League. I'm not gonna lie. So I hear that. Onana will never be your title. You said winning goalkeeper, Bozo Genius Sushant, plus sketchy shot stopping. You just know he will let you down when pressure's out. I agree with that. Antonio Silva, now. I watched more. I was impressed with him last year. I watched a lot of him more this year. The box defending, uncomfortable conversations. Lindelof type. And way too expensive. They want 100 mil plus for him. DeMarco needed OT. He could come with his manager. I like DeMarco, but more is he like a back four or back five kind of guy? Thing. He's a bit. Yeah. He Antonio Silva just gives me very, very, very sketchy vibes. Any other players? We're linked with a lot of players. So, you guys have anyone like in the? We talked about it like on Saeed's, kind of like above the under 23 age, kind of like Tapsoba. I'd buy Tapsoba, like as like when he before more like on the Todibo side of things, like that third center back, like that kind of stuff. Definitely, I like Tapsoba. I'm familiar. Is Bastoni realistical? Nah, I doubt it. Also, I'd rather sign Branthwaite. It's just me though. But like if we play a back three, I'd rather sign Bastoni. Kefren Turan. He's on the list. I think the connection with Ineos definitely helps. But I definitely think I definitely buy Thuram. He falls like in the Fofana range. Definitely. I really don't know who I want to be Mainer's partner. Manu Kone, I'm slightly leaning towards the void with him, not a lot. I think it's a lot of injury history. Bastoni is Inter's franchise center back. There's a new tactical player, Calafiori, last center back, better than Bastoni. I heard about him a little bit. I heard the name. I haven't watched him play, but it's interesting. We'll be keeping an eye. Mohamed Simakan. I like Simakan as a right back shot because he could also play center back. That right back center back combo, like the Tomiyasu Ben White, I think that's an interesting dynamic that Ten Hag needs to be looking at. It's something I thought what he would do when Timber was linked with us. Obviously, we didn't end up getting Timber, but yeah, I definitely think that's something worth looking at. Schlotterbeck, miss me with that. I'm not gonna lie. Thoughts on Kwambwala? I like him. I want to see him go on loan though. I want to see him go to like a Luton, like the way Menchie's playing for Luton now. I want to see what Kwambwala can do. Big up my bro. Big up my boy Rhino. Make sure you guys, like I said, make sure you first check out his channel, and then also make sure you guys just check out on site ATV. Rhino was on with us. Because you got to hear me out signing. I have a couple. One was for backup striker, which was Choupo-Moting. Just a veteran striker, come off the bench, stuff like that. Another player I had before Manu was always Harry Winks. Just that profile of like getting 100 touches a game. But after watching Amrabat, I'm like, yo, maybe that won't work. And this is my third one. Ross Barkley. Yo, hear me out. Yo, Ross Barkley, bro, is exactly what Man United are missing because he could play like that 8-6, like that 6-8 kind of thing. The way he's doing, the way, yo, what? You see what Eriksen was doing last year? Ross Barkley could be doing that, but he's more athletically gifted than Eriksen, so it looked much better. So definitely hear me out on the Ross Barkley. 1 second, guys. My bad. Just send a text real quick. Hey, yo, Ross Barkley, like free signing, bro. Hear me out, bro. Hear me out. Hey, Morata's also a good shout. I think backup striker kind of stuff. I think Morata is definitely someone that you could do a hear me out on. Tactical and chill with the tactical. Tactical. What's it called? I try to avoid the tactical allegations, right? We leave that for CK, the American Tactical. That's what you guys got to focus on. CK, the American Tactical. Dalot left back striking on the edge moves me still, and there's less good right wingers. I mean, you could. I mean, you could always sign a top right back if it comes along. You move Dalot left back, but I hear that. You rate that Gerald Hado kid from Ajax or stay away. I rate him. I've heard good things about him, but I think he just signed a new deal. I think a couple years away. Building you starting XI next season with one of those websites. I got you guys. I'll do a video on that closer to like next summer or stuff like that. So like, hey man, Solanke all day. Bring him at the club. I don't know what the price will be though, but bring him. I'll definitely take Solanke at the club. Barella, iffy, 50-50. Kimmich, avoid. Verts, absolutely bring in. Sander Berge, I'd probably go avoid. Unahi, I'd probably go avoid. Who's your number one manager to replace Erik ten Hag? Simone Inzaghi. Can't touch Ajax. I don't want. Actually, I have PTSD from Ajax. We can make Jalen Hart to look like Phil Jones for all I know. Finito with that club. But definitely come good names. Any other names? We'll give it about like 5 more minutes and then to kind of do like an hour. And then we'll wrap up. And then I'm hungry as hell. I'm not going to lie. So, yeah, we'll do about 5 more minutes of suggestions. I don't even know how many likes we're at. If anyone wants to let me know how many likes we're at, so I kind of know like the range. And make sure you keep liking and subscribing. I'm gonna assume we've gained a few subscribers because a few new names here that I haven't seen before. So appreciate the subs and all that kind of stuff. Road to 400 and then road to 500 is here. Yeah. Give me Sebastian. I don't know who that is. I'm not gonna lie. Is that like a Frankfurt manager or something? Something about German managers in the Premier League I don't like. Except obviously Jurgen Klopp is one of one, but like Tuchel, God forbid. Oh no! I have my here now signing. Yo, JJ, by saying Huang Ki-chan, you've unlocked my thing. You've unlocked my memory. He just got injured. Mateus Cunha. That's my hear me out signing. Mateus Cunha for Bruno Fernandes replacement as the advanced 8. Bro, hear me out, guys. You see these Brazilian strikers these days that are not strikers. Gabriel Jesus, Joelinton, that kind of stuff. Mateus Cunha is a midfielder, advanced midfielder that can play right behind the striker, elite ball carrying, good ball striking. There's a reason why he has that many goals. I think he'd be the perfect player. That's my hear me out signing. Yo, JJ, thank you, bro. You unlocked the memory. Nobody guys, yeah, Sander Berge, bro, give it up, bro. That dude. I remember when we got a link with him. I think was it winter of 2020, something like that. Yo, the school of Roberto Firmino, man. That is the graduate, bro. Mateus Cunha's graduated magna cum laude, bro. I promise you. So yeah, that's definitely my hear me out signing. I wish we could go Wolves and get both Cunha and Neto. Perfect. Give Bruno a must keep and extra higher. Yo, Regis again. Give it up, bro. Give it up. Did we ever pick a Casemiro replacement and miss that one? Maybe like Onana, Thuram, stuff like that. Kevin Thuram. Yeah, I'll probably go with that. Kimmich would be cold right back. So actually, he's a right back. I do agree with that, but not for me. Cunha might be good considering I like. Bro, you don't understand, bro. Kobe Mainoo is Cunha as the ball carries at the 8s. Brother, that is cold. I'm telling you guys. But also, having like a Cunha Mainoo like as the 8 allows for the 6 to not have to be that ball dominant because you could have those who do the ball carrying. Stuttgart manager. Yeah, okay. Stuttgart doing really good this year. Our marquee sign is gonna be Tony. Yeah, hold that. It's not a Mbappe. I'll tell you that much. You guys got to give that up. I know, yo, that Wolves team is so good, man. Shout out Gary Neal, bro. He's doing so good things. He's unleashing the potential of those Wolves players that Lopetegui wasn't able to do. We must sign Pedro Neto from Wolves. We must. That's how he says. We must. Sean Dyche is my hear me out signing. Not for United, but I love Sean Dyche. Real men gaffer. Would you ever see Licha advance up to a pivot? Kalicha is what horrific I want defending. You could. I could see that. Cunha top 10 best ball carrier in the Premier League. Ineos bring me Mbappe in my life this year. Yeah, we got to give that up. Mbappe's not coming here. That's Madrid signing, right? So yeah, let's remove this real quick. Make this full screen. It's the most crucial decision in the future is a partner to Kobe. I agree. Ashan Daish McNeil. Carrington graduate, but no. Is Thiago Almada a good player? Had good things. Yeah, I think he just killed in the Olympics qualifiers for Argentina. I kind of want to see him at another Prem club first though, and see what happens. What do you think about Thiago Mota? Good gaffer. If you guys know HTMO MUSC on Twitter, he does a lot of analysis. I think he just did a analytical like thread on Thiago Mota today. Looks really good. Great gaffer. I thought Barca should maybe go after him. I think PSG could consider it as well. He played for both those clubs. I think Thiago Mota is a great guy. He got that Stuttgart side with a guy named Undav and Guirassy to be top scorers in the Bundesliga and outplaying Cabo. He did really good. But maybe I think the job would just be too big for him, you know. Another hear me out, Badi Ashile. I do rate Badi Ashile, but I'd rather have Brown 3. Rashford and AWB from Mbappe, my friend. We shouldn't have sold Garner. We should have sold Garner, but we should have sold Garner for more money. That's the issue. Same thing with the Alenga. He's a lot of his Chelsea tax. Yeah, Chelsea tax is crazy. Yeah, Chelsea tax is crazy. But even when we look at that Chelsea team, like Malo Gusta for me would be like the one player I'd sign. Lewis Hall, I really wish we saw more of Lewis Hall for Newcastle this year, but we haven't seen enough of him. Like we have seen with Livramento. That's another player I would sign. Dan Ashworth do the thing. Many that we're scouting and following that, but I just following him since 2019. We had a lot of heavy links with that Monaco team because Hannibal was from the academy, Badiashile, Dasasi, Yusuf Afana. We've been scouting for a minute. I think it's probably the same scouts that are scouting Martial. So yeah, Badiashile is definitely one of those guys. But yeah, that's pretty much it. We've hit the hour mark. I don't know how many likes we're at, but we'll check after this. A couple last comments. My stomach is growling. All my days, I wish we got Nkunku, but he injured. Anyway. He's very injury prone now. Hear me out on Kubo. I love Kubo, but I don't see where he fit at United. Bissouma for 40, 50 mil. Nah. Chelsea saved us by signing Disasi. I like Malo Gusto. Yeah. So yeah, pretty much it, guys. Appreciate for everyone that stuck in the comments. We've kept it to about 50 to 70 viewers the whole time, so I appreciate you guys. Appreciate any of you subscribers. I'm going to make sure to keep pumping out content. I think this is probably one of the most biggest weeks on YouTube I've had in terms of making content consistently. I think I've only not recorded for one day, so I'm going to try to keep that going. And yeah, I'm trying to think of what else we got. Yeah, coming up, obviously tomorrow is just Premier League. Sunday, match reaction. You guys know the drill. After Luton, gonna be doing that, and then next week we go from there, right? We'll see. There's gonna be more news. Guys start pumping out the articles now. You know the drill, that kind of stuff. Kind of let me know what kind of articles you guys want me to write. I'll be posting them on Twitter, so make sure you follow me on Twitter. That's where I drop my articles. Well, I've heard good things about this guy. I've heard good things. League on center back route, bro. Trust. Disasi might be spooky, but trust. I've heard he's really dominant. Definitely someone I'd rather sign than like Antonio Silva, for example, right? And like Rhino says, make sure you like, share, subscribe. I've done that about 5 times today, so we're getting better at reminding. That's definitely one of the things I have to improve on. I gotta become like Staffy when it comes to that. So yeah, in terms of content, like I said, match reaction stuff on Sundays. On Sunday after the game, and then we go from there. You guys can also just catch me on Staffy's channel, obviously Staffy TV. 8 listeners next week. This is football. And then Saeed's for debate show. Maybe Tuesday, the late night vibe show. We do something with that. But yeah. And that's pretty much it, guys. Yeah, I said a little thing I had to prove. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Appreciate you guys' support. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.